you got to turn around. That's how rare it is.
Would you be surprised that they actually knew what your A stood for? Stood for?
In a quarter mile, turn right
a lot
onto
of
North
guesses
Adams
along the
Road.
way. And as soon as you say Andrew, they think your middle name's Jackson, or they will go to some, something that they think. But it's a running joke. But they come up with some creative nicknames, which are not always PG.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, at least your name's not Bobby. Okay, we'll leave it at that. So far this spring training for us, it's always all right. We hear about all these guys who are looking so good, and conversely, we look at all these guys who, they don't look very good. They're not going to be bad. Yada yada yada. Give me something that we should be really optimistic about.
Well,
at the stop sign, turn right onto North Adams Road.
I've been very proud of. I think other ways, we've got to keep challenging our guys. The young talent is real, and I know even fans don't love to hear that all the time because it pushes things into the future, and you're like, when are these guys going to get here? And but like at the point, like it takes you by to
in 3.3 miles, turn right onto East Maple Road.
Them out a little bit, and have to respond. And I love how he's come to camp, going 97, 98 the other day, open to change. Chris Fetter brought. That is what a Tiger fan should be really excited about. It's like when we'll get up here and watching Matt Manning yesterday, young pitcher with a lot of publicity, and Torkelson and Green, like the young talent base is starting to mature. Just we want it done like yesterday, and as a fan, as a coach, as an organization, we really do want this to fast forward. And I think there's some ingredients here. And I think there's also, we've surrounded this group with some major league talent that, albeit guys that we want to bounce back, we want some guys to step forward, and, maybe some familiar names like Stoke. And, I like the mix so far, and now we have to go out and bring it every single day, and that's the challenge. It's just spring, so I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic that we have a lot of work to do to get these guys in a winning way.
How do you manage that expectation or excitement of what could be in the future and seeing these young guys develop, knowing that you want tomorrow to be today, yet not rushing them?
Yeah, I think they're all individuals. You can't put guys into one little box and say, each guy's going to be ready a little bit at a different timeline. And when they're ready, we've got to be, have a roster that we can move around in order to get those young players into the big leagues. And I think more than anything, when you get here, there's an expectation level. Yes, there's a learning curve. Yes, there's some growth, and you're not going to be perfect when you first come to the big leagues. But when you come to the big leagues, we're ready to win today. And that mindset is very necessary at this level. And you can't give them too much leeway into what's the expectation here. That's why I start talking about winning. I start talking about, the winning mindset, winning attributes. This is what winning teams do. And, we finished 30 out of 30 in a few too many categories when it comes to how we pitch, how we hit, how we on the bases. And when you have to show that to players and get them to take that personal, that their peers are beating them. And that's what I hope to do in the spring, and when the players get their responses.
I want to ask about one guy who here's looking great and one guy the other direction. Let's start optimistic. How good can Willie Castro be?
Man, I'll tell you what, he can really hit. And I think his defense is a microscope all the time, and we have to allow him to learn the pace of play on defense. In the batter's box, the game is slow for him. He recognizes pitches. He's got some flick. He's hit oppo homer. He's hit a full homer. His first pitch is spring out of the ballpark. So that was good. But I said, on defense, it's a little bit faster for him, and that's what the reps are going to do for him. He's made some incredible plays down here, and then, unfortunately, the way that the big leagues are, when you make an error, it gets magnified. So, good-looking player. He's going to get somewhere in the top half of the order, and coming off of the success he had last season, I can see why the organization was pretty high on him, and now our patience is really on the defensive side as he, like I said, he learns the pace of the game, and we'll find out whether he gets the shortstop. I think so. He's got to prove it, but I know we want him in the batter's box as often as possible.
And on the flip side, he's a veteran guy who's been here before. He's been up and down before as far as the results go. Buck Farmer seems to be having a horrific spring. Maybe his beard's too long. I don't know.
Yeah, he cut it off. He'll be done with that now. But in Buck, it's always hard in the spring. He did have a pitch yesterday that a 3-run homer to end his outing. that magnifies the numbers, and as a reliever, he's getting out there every few days, and it hasn't been pretty for him. I do trust that the more veteran guys that have been here can figure it out. I mean, he hasn't had his best pitch change up. It's been all over the place, and he holds himself to a really high bar. I'm going to hold him to a high bar, but guys that have had a little bit of success and will take the big leagues, get a little longer leash early in camp. This is the last week of spring, and this is his last outing. It would be, a little tougher to swallow, but he's got some time to figure it out.
When you look, you've got 3 weeks until opening day. Before you make the trip up north here, what is it that you want to get out of your team? Where do they need to get to for you to be comfortable to say, hey, we're ready for opening day?
I think first off, personnel-wise, we have to make some tough decisions. There's a battle going on for the backup catching job. There's a battle going on for how we're going to configure the infield. We got Jonathan Stogan in camp for the first time today. That'll start to feel good that we have our whole infield that we can choose from. He's obviously on our team, but what are we going to do with a Harold Castro and a Greg Garcia and a Renato
In half a mile,
Nunez and
turn right
Esau
onto
Paredes?
East Maple Road.
They only take a couple of those guys, so we have to figure out personnel behind the plate, in the infield, and then Akil Baddoo's making quite a push to make this roster. So I think that from a personnel standpoint, we're going to have to deliver some good news, some bad news. From a kind of operation on the field, we have to be prepared for the season physically and then also mentally. That there's a shift that happens at the end of camp. You can't consider it a light switch. You can't just turn the light switch on and all of a sudden expect when the bright lights show up for things to be perfect as they've so gone well in the spring. And whether that's increasing the intensity, whether that's playing extraordinarily clean baseball, things you're going to hear me talk about quite a bit. We have to make sure that we've practiced everything and we feel fully prepared to get to the real season.
Are you ready, AJ, to name, or when would you be ready to name your opening day starter and your closer?
At the light, turn right onto
I
East
mean,
Maple
popular,
Road.
I think we're going to start to line it up a little bit more after the next off day. That's March 18th. So about a week from now, we'll have to start to line up their last couple starts, and figure out what order we're going to go. We don't have to make a decision until the end. We can kind of maneuver it towards the end. I think it matters to our players. That's a big distinction.
In 3/4 of a mile,
to our fans.
turn
I think
left
for
onto
me as a
Southfield
manager,
Road.
probably pretty low on my priority list. I think we're going to need to line our guys up for a few different reasons, but I'll do it. And then the closer thing, I guess you're talking to the guy who cares about that the least. I mean, I want to have a closer. I want to have guys I can trust with the game on the line, but it's not as necessary to me until I absolutely have to, given the personnel we have, the competition that we have, and ultimately the focus that we want our players to have. I think that is unnecessary until the very last minute.
Speaking of that personnel, Jimenez looks like he's back to where people thought he might be. Is that the possibility that the Joe Jimenez that we've heard about for the last 3 years, who's kind of been up and down, and sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not, maybe he'll be more consistent this year?
I hope so. I think breaking balls get tweaked a little bit. I think he's very focused on making sure that he's one of the leverage guys.
In half a mile, turn left onto Southfield Road.
But we need him. We need to be able to trust him to attack hitters in multiple ways, and he hasn't really been able to
Stay in
do
the
that
middle lane.
consistently in the last year or two. And I think once we get towards the season, he pitches with a little bit of swagger and emotion. He's starting to learn the feel for pitching. He's still developing a little bit. So I like how it started so far, and he has some history being in the back end, and that our best team probably does have him pitching well, and towards the back end, if not the back end. And that allows me to do a lot of different things, but he's got to earn it.
And we always want to know about Miggy. How's he doing? What have you seen 2 weeks in, and how's he looking physically?
Physically good and mentally good. I mean, he's been, I didn't know kind of how he was going to be. I've never been around him consistently, and he's such a fun guy to see every day, and he keeps things light. He interacts. I mean, he's the oldest guy in our clubhouse, but he still has that youthful spirit to him, and I think he's loved playing a little bit of first base. I'm not going to break him. I'm not going to play him so much out there that I jeopardize the season or anything like that. But he's into it, and I think some new moves have sparked him a little bit. You know, he looks around. He's got a great friend in Wilson Ramos behind the plate now. He's got Nomar Mazara, you know, going to play in the outfield. Robbie Grossman's a great addition. That kickstarts maybe year with some belief that things are going to be better, you know, for our team. So I love being around him. He looks good physically. He's going to start getting a lot more at bats now that we're towards the middle part of the spring, and he
At
make
the
a couple
light,
road trips.
turn left onto Southfield
he's on a
Road.
road trip today to Toronto, and he decided to get 3 and 4 at bats a game for the foreseeable future.
Final thing, how cool was it to see Matt Manning strike out Bryce Harper with three pitches yesterday?
In 6.2 miles, keep right onto Southfield Freeway.
95 and then 96 and 97, and that's, you know, and again, it's only spring training, but there is that, you know, recognizable name on the other side. And as confident as Matt Manning is, as polished as he is, as athletic as he is, his dad's NBA, like there's still that factor when you're facing a dude that you've only really seen on TV, right? And then you come and you throw your best stuff and you blow by him, and it was a moment that he didn't smile on the field. He's kind of a pretty serious competitor. He's got a little chip on his shoulder, but I know it mattered to him. And I think winning the at-bat against Segura, who was an all-star, punching out Bryce Harper on 3 straight fastballs, definitely a building block. And one thing I know is he believes that he belongs here.
All right. Hey, AJ, thanks a lot as always. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
All right, AJ Hinch, powered by BetQL. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL app today or visit BetQL.com. Hey, by the way, tomorrow, Riley Green will join us in the 9 o'clock hour. Ladies and gentlemen, news is next with Heather.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you the one thing that Tom Brady does every morning that just has people talking. They can't believe it.
We all have guesses.
Yes. Exactly. 97 points.
Hey, add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, exclusive, always-on promotions, such as enhanced odd boosts on the biggest events to help you get more action out of every game day. And when you win, they're going to get you your money in as little as 24 hours. Check out the app. It's easy to use. Register, deposit, and quickly find your bet. Right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Just place a bet on any game, and FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back if you don't win your first bet. There's no strings attached. Just place your bet on any game that you want. If you win, you keep the cash. If you lose, you'll get your entire bet up to $1,000 back in sight credit. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code Jansen so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code Jansen. Must be 21 or over, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJE and 950 Traffic Center, dealing with the typical work zone slowdowns this morning along I-75 northbound from 8 Mile to 696, again from Rochester Road to Big Beaver, and then southbound from 14 to 12 Mile. In Clinton Township today, periodic right lane closures can be expected along Gratiot Avenue, both directions at 15 Mile. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
The Detroit Red Wings host the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pregame tonight at 7:15 on 97.1 The Ticket. This Detroit winter has been brutal. You can see the effects on the roads, the cars, and on our daily lives. One area that's often overlooked is your roof. Sub-freezing temperatures, the snow, the ice, the freezing, the thawing, all put a lot of stress on your roof. It can turn little problems into big problems, and big problems into major issues. Now get a free 21-point video roof inspection from Victor's Roofing. That's right, I said free. Their expert roof technicians will also carefully examine the areas that are early indicators of roof failure and point out any issues that need to be addressed. If there are any, Victor's will give you a customized solution to keep you and your family protected. Find out what the winter did to your roof with this free, no obligation 21-point inspection. Schedule your appointment today. 734-773-1100. 734-773-1100. Or book an appointment online at victorsroofing.com. victorsroofing.com. Get to Galligan is fed by Dodge and Award for the Trump Movie Famous Dodge Challengers Cat Pack for just $355. drive for only $257 per month. Brand new Dodge Grand Caravans for only $21,485 while supplies last. Or purchase a brand new Dodge Journey just reduced to $17,939. 0% for up to 84 months. Available for Grand Caravan and Journey. Worried about credit? Forget it. We approve almost everyone. Find your pot of gold at Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge. On Van Dyke Avenue, just under 696 in Warren. Or VanDykeDodge.com.
Today is non-stop. And suddenly, your checking account is overdrawn. But what if we gave you more time on that one? At Huntington, if you accidentally overdraw your account by $50 or less, we've put a $50 safety zone in place, so you won't be charged an overdraft fee. It's one more way we're looking out for you, so you can have time for what matters most. Huntington, welcome. $50 safety zone does not apply to returned items. Your account will be automatically closed if it remains negative for 60 days. Learn more at huntington.com/safety zone.
These days, it's okay to do some things halfway, like wearing your pajama bottoms on a work call. But managing your prescriptions shouldn't be one of them. That's why CVS has a proprietary search tool to find ways that may help lower your prescription costs, and will deliver them for free. No wonder CVS customers are better than most at staying on prescriptions, which tends to make you healthier. Come in or call today and get a free prescription savings review at CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Delivery restrictions apply. Visit cvs.com for details.
Do one thing to protect the environment. It all starts with just one thing. March is a great time to start gardening outside. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides can make it into local waterways, rivers, and the ocean. Keep use of these to a minimum, and instead, make your own fertilizer by composting things like grass clippings, kitchen scraps, and coffee grounds, and use natural pesticides like garlic, chili pepper, and eucalyptus oil. It all starts with one thing. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers built for business and powered by Intel Core processors. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more. All with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Again, that's 877-ASK-DELL.
Your opinion matters. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket Studio line at 248-539-9797. Book your stay at the D by visiting thed.com. The D Las Vegas, the home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Make better bets, bet smarter, and beat the books today. Download the BetQL app today to better your chances.
Michigan State takes on Maryland 11:30. Big Ten tournament. The winner takes on Michigan tomorrow at 11:30. Tigers take on the Blue Jays today. They lost the Phillies yesterday 6-4, but we did mention, as you heard with AJ Hinch, Matt Manning struck out Bryce Harper on 3 pitches. Matthew Boyd also struck out Bryce Harper twice. I do want to mention that. Wings back in action at home against the Lightning, and the Pistons begin their second half of the season in Charlotte against LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. All right, here's Heather. News.
So a murder suspect is on the loose in California. Yeah, he was accidentally or mistakenly released from prison due to a procedural error. Yikes, right? So this guy, Stephen Manos, he was charged with
In 2
murder
miles,
last March.
keep right onto
and
Southfield
on Tuesday,
Freeway.
he was released, prompting officers to shut down a Los Angeles highway during an hours-long manhunt. However, that manhunt came up short. Police did try to set up a containment perimeter, but they weren't able to take him into custody. So he's still out there, still on the run. And imagine that person that made this one critical mistake.
Yeah.
Apparently, on his paperwork, it said that his case had been dismissed instead of saying that his preliminary hearing didn't happen in a timely manner. So yeah, they big mistake, and he is out
Logistical
there.
error.
Yeah, yikes is right. Julian Edelman has reached out to Myers Leonard and is offering to educate the NBA player on Jewish history after he used an anti-Semitic slur during a video game live stream this week.
Yeah.
So Edelman says that he has never met Leonard before, but he wants to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And Leonard has issued an apology. He claims that he was not aware of the hateful history of the word and vowed to educate himself about it. So maybe he'll take Edelman up on this offer.
It's weird because people are asking about that because me obviously being Jewish. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's stupid. However, I do want to point this out. That there are, I don't know how many, what percentages, there are a lot of people that have never even heard that word before. But the fact that he used it, he may not have known that it was about Jews, maybe. But he obviously knew it was inflammatory or derogatory, or else he wouldn't have used the word.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I even asked my kids, and maybe that's bad parenting to tell them, not to teach them what are bad words. But like my daughter, I talked to yesterday, I said, "You ever heard this word before?" And she said, "No." And then when she heard the story, she goes, "Well, maybe I heard it might have been a bad word." But a lot of people don't know because
I don't know if I've ever heard it before, to be honest. I didn't. So when I saw it, the article bleeps out the word except the first letter. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, what is this? And I couldn't even think of what it was. So I'm guessing I probably had never even heard it.
It obviously was not it was a derogatory term because the other words used was effing, playing bitch.
Right. He was using it in a specific context, that's for sure, yes. All right, so for March Madness, there is this annual study that ranks the best cities to live in if you're a college basketball fan. And researchers say they looked at 291 cities with at least one Division I team and then ranked them according to things like winning percentage, ticket prices, and also how passionate fans are on social media. And the first place overall this year goes to Durham, North Carolina.
I was going to guess either Raleigh. Raleigh or Durham because that area, NC State's in Raleigh, Chapel Hill's not very far away.
Yeah, so they came over for one. Next is Lexington, Kentucky. Got the Wildcats there. And then third is East Lansing, Michigan.
There you go. Not surprised.
Yeah.
Use the right two lanes to keep right onto Southfield Freeway.
Big each city was. So they have the best big cities, the best mid-sized cities, the best small cities. So East Lansing was the best small city. There you have it.
Keep right.
All right, so social media is going bananas over Tom Brady's morning smoothie.
In 2.7 miles, take exit 13
So
toward
he jumped on
Nichols Road.
TikTok and shared this video of kind of how he starts his day. He does all sorts of different things. He takes a bunch of vitamins, of course. He rolls his feet and he makes the smoothie. And puts a whole bunch of different things in the smoothie. He's got some protein powder, electrolytes, some fruit, and it's how he puts his banana in his smoothie that really has the social media chatting. Did you see this, John?
It's bananas.
Yes.
I saw this.
Yeah. Okay. So he peels the banana and he rips the ends off each
In
end
2
of the
miles,
banana. And he
take
throws-
exit
he does
13
these
toward
strips,
McNichols
and he
Road.
throws those away and then puts the middle of the banana into the blender.
Just the tip?
Well, not the tip at all. I mean,
No, I know.
he doesn't.
That's what he removes.
Yes.
Not just the tip. No, it's like
The ends.
Right.
Both tips. I mean, there's.
Yeah, I understand that, but it seemed like in the video he's cutting more than just the tip off. It's like,
Well, he kind of rips it, and so it's not just a little little teeny tiny.
Exactly. That's
nasty
my point.
part.
Exactly.
Yes,
That's my point.
it's kind of the ends, and a lot of people had a lot of things to say. One person said Tom Brady not eating the ends of a banana when they are blended into a smoothie is serial killer stuff, and that's what this to me is what I know. Yeah, it's going into a smoothie. It's all going to be blended together.
Right.
Like, I can see maybe you don't want to eat it, when you're just going to eat the banana, but you're blending it. Who cares? Other people said if Tom Brady ate the ends of the banana, he would have 10 Super Bowl rings. And then others were kind of on his side. They were like, I thought everyone did this. The ends are a little rotten and slimy.
Yep.
So apparently people have got a lot to say about that. I say eat the ends.
I've never really had that. I mean, I eat bananas. Can't say I've had to make that decision.
Use the right lane
So
to
there's
take
a
exit
private
13
school
toward
in
McNichols
New York
Road.
City that is banning students from using words like mom and dad. harmful assumptions from the way that they interact with each other at the school.
Okay.
So they offer a whole bunch of alternatives. So instead of saying mom and dad, they want students and teachers and everyone to say grown-ups, folks, or family. Or guardians, you could say. They don't want you to say nanny or babysitter. It's got to be caretaker or guardian. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. Those should be spouse, partner, or significant other. And then there's, I mean, like I said, there's all.
At the light,
this is
turn right onto
12-page,
Puritan Street. Then turn in 800
whatever you
feet.
wanna call-
Turn
God,
left onto Glastonbury Road.
It's easy for me to say this, okay, because of obvious reasons. My kids aren't there. I pulled them out of that school so fast. Now, come on, really?
Yeah.
Mom and dad?
That's the mom and dad. It to me is just there are certain things in this guy that I thought, okay, I like. I don't like being called sweetheart. I don't like being called honey. I
Turn
don't like
left
being
onto
called babe.
Glastonbury Road.
Those things were in there, like the pet names. They say, hey, let's just replace them with that person's name.
Okay,
I'm all for that.
That's fine. I get that, but mom
There's
and
certain
dad,
things,
you can't say Merry Christmas. Okay, that's a whole debate in itself, which
In
I
half
think
a mile,
is ridiculous.
the destination is on your
It's
right.
Christian school.
1563 Glastonbury
Holidays, you
Avenue.
can't say?
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody doesn't have a happy holiday?
Or maybe they don't have any holidays.
Maybe not. So you just say, hey, have a good break. Enjoy your break.
We're going way too far. Way too far.
Yeah. All right, so I don't know what's going on with these creepy hidden rooms, but I got another story that has one. There was this Airbnb guest, and he discovered a concealed room behind his air vent. Okay, remember we talked about this like a few weeks ago? That woman found a secret room behind her mirror in her
Yeah,
bathroom.
and there was another one that found like a secret basement.
Yes, and this guy found a secret room, and this was super creepy. And he, of course, shared it on TikTok as well. It's gotten tons of views. And he said right off the bat, he felt something was off when he went to this Airbnb because he said the owners seemed surprised that he wasn't a woman. So they were kind of thrown off, even though they should have known who he was when he booked it because you have a profile up there, but whatever. That's besides the point. So he thought something was a little off right off the bat. And then he says in the middle of the night, he heard a strange noise and he kind of felt like somebody was watching him. And then the next day is when he made this bombshell discovery. He took his camera, he zoomed into the air vent. The air vent's near the ground. And inside
The destination
the air vent,
is
you
on
can see
your
a whole
right.
nother room. And it looks like that room
1563
even had a
Glastonbury
window.
Avenue.
You can't
Arrived.
tell exactly, but there was, I mean, it was like a finished room. Not one of those creepy rooms that was used a long time ago. Like somebody was using that room currently. Yeah, really creepy. Now, a spokesperson for Airbnb said that it was unable to verify this incident, but does take its privacy violations very seriously. And they're urging this individual who posted the video to contact them as soon as possible so they can offer support.